right, who wants to kick it off?
Well,
what are we?
Well, we're here. We're going to do our podcast. You guys are going to be on our podcast. It's a little different being on this side, huh?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Where's our? We don't have our books to study. Well, hey guys, we are back with another episode of Catching Up with the Camdens, and we have very special guests who know us very, very well and know all of our deep, dark secrets. Oh wait, I forgot to introduce myself. I'm Beverly Mitchell.
I'm David Gallagher.
And I'm Mackenzie Rossman.
And our guests here are...
I'm Cheryl Diamond. I taught Beverly and Jesse on 7th Heaven.
And I'm Susie Salerno, and I taught David Gallagher on 7th Heaven.
Yeah, and so this is so fun to have you guys here.
Thank you guys for coming up.
Because I think a lot of people really don't understand what it's like being a child actor and what we have to, the other side of yes, we're on camera, but we still have to be students and we still have to get good grades and do well. And you guys were responsible for making sure we stayed on top of our studies and made sure that we were always protected on set because you guys were also kind of our protectors as well. Not that we really needed it on 7th Heaven, but on some sets you do.
Would that be social worker? What's the title?
Welfare worker, yeah.
Enforcing child labor laws on the set.
Health, safety, and welfare.
Yes.
And that has to do with our hours on set, and obviously schooling hours, and what else is involved in that part of it?
Well, we would oversee if we thought something was dangerous on set, we would speak up and let the directors know.
Did that ever happen? Did you ever have to speak up about something that you thought that you were uncomfortable with?
Well, I spoke up once at a table read. And the producer was Bert Brinkerhoff.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he didn't like what I had to ask about because there was a fake gun, but I needed to make sure that it passed our inspection and everything. And I wasn't challenging the fact that it wasn't going to be safe, but I was doing my job.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate that because I've been on plenty of sets where gun safety was not taken seriously, and it is something that it is very important to always just check.
Yeah.
So thank you for
welcome.
for looking out for us. I mean, I do feel like, there wasn't often that we had crazy things happen on 7th Heaven. I mean, but there were nunchucks in one episode.
And brass knuckles.
Yes, brass knuckles we found.
Obviously,
not that they
lots
were
of
used.
pregnancies.
They were just, lots of pregnancies. Because we've been exploring and rewatching the show. But this episode, we're chatting about what it was like to kind of be our teachers and what that experience was like and how well of a students we were.
You were excellent students. I always say that you guys had 2 full-time jobs. I mean, you're actors, but you also have a full-time job being a student. And you have to do both in the time that most kids just have to go to school.
Yeah.
And I will say I was always amazed at how prepared you all were when you got to set. You knew your lines. You had your homework.
Lots of homework. There's so much homework.
Yeah. Well, we've talked a bit about you doing the podcast over the past episodes. We've talked a bit about the schooling and how that kind of functions on set, but for everyone who's kind of catching up with this part of it now, we have our studio set, and then outside where all the trailers were, we had dedicated school trailers. I had my own school trailer. Mac had her own trailer. Bev and Jess shared a trailer because they were a grade apart. Yeah. Right? You guys weren't in the same grade. You guys were a grade apart.
We were a grade apart, yes.
So you guys shared a trailer.
Yes.
But that all just had to do with keeping our grade proximity so that they were divided up that way. And then on any given day, we had to get 3 hours of schooling in time-wise. We could bank extra if we had the time. And then anytime we had 15 to 20 minutes to spare, we weren't maybe on camera. We were off camera. They would rush us off. We would go meet up with Susie, get back to the test or whatever we were studying, work pages, every subject.
20 minutes at a time.
Yeah, 20 minutes
which
at
was
a time.
Brutal.
And we had to essentially keep pace with the schools that that they were reporting to on our behalf with all of our schoolwork, so that we could graduate on time and keep up with our grades.
Did you ever come in on your days off to like bank extra hours? Because I did that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
didn't do it so much because I always would try to go to school.
Yes.
But I
But it
also
depends
was.
on
I was
if
also.
you weren't always in a.
Oh no, I was. I
regular
never
school.
was in a deficit on my hours. Like I was
Well,
always
yes.
like I always like exceeded my banked hours.
Did you ever do a
By
homeschooling
many-
program?
By
Bev,
By
though?
many.
Did you ever do a homeschooling program?
No,
Or were you
no.
always in a private school?
I was always in private. I was always
Yeah.
in the
Always
college
in-
preparatory, so
Yeah.
I was
Me
always
too.
at Chaminade.
I
Yeah.
didn't
Yeah.
do homeschool either.
I never did
No.
homeschool. My parents
Yeah.
were very adamant that I was always in a school, and then on my days off I would go to regular school. So
Right. Jessie did a few different programs.
She yes
Yeah,
she,
she
when
did
I-
a
Jessie-
Lycée school,
Jessie
the
bounced
French
around.
one.
Yeah, Layla Say.
Yep.
Then Concord.
Yeah, and then Chaminade for a short
Oh,
period.
maybe Chaminade.
As long
No,
as
she
I
did-
was
she did
there.
show- Chaminade for a
was
short period.
a really tough school.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That was,
And David graduated from there.
Yep.
yeah,
Yep.
and so did Bev.
But
Yeah,
it was-
I was
you
the one
did
who started.
too?
I was.
Yeah.
You
I'm the
graduated?
reason.
Really?
I'm the reason David
Oh,
went there.
yeah. I didn't
'Cause-
realize. I
Yeah.
knew you had attended it, but I didn't
Oh
know
no,
that
I
you
graduated. I was.
Oh, we have proof.
Yeah,
We have
no.
photos.
So,
Yeah.
because I started off at Chaminade when we started the show, I was a student at Chaminade, and I knew that I wanted to stay with my class. And you know what's funny is like everyone always asks like, well, did people treat you differently when you went to school? And the answer for me was no, also because everyone already knew me. So like they knew me before I started Seventh Heaven. So I was never cool. Like I never got to play the cool card where like, oh, I'm on TV. They're like, oh, whatever. By the way, did you like? I was always behind on who was dating who or who liked who or whatever. So I was always
we
playing
weren't there as
catch up.
much, so
But
that's
you always
fair.
had so many friends.
I did. I was
Right.
I was very lucky that I still went to all the dances. I was a cheerleader. I did all the things.
She's
so
the
I
Energizer
had
Bunny, though.
the
That's why.
full high school experience
You
as
had
well.
You had a little
Right.
different experience
Yes.
at Chaminade, didn't
Yeah.
you?
Yeah.
Well,
Hey.
I can inform you that the cool card didn't work anyway.
Oh.
So it
Oh,
wasn't
well,
that-
I mean, well, that makes me feel
Especially when
better.
You drive in with a prowler, right?
Oh, right.
And the kids.
Yeah, you're
yeah,
right.
that's gonna land well.
Yeah,
So I used to-
I pulled in with a Ford Explorer was my first car.
well,
Yeah.
when I got my
Humble
license,
Beverly.
I got my prowler.
Yes.
and the one of the it's funny because in high school that where the cool card worked more effectively was more with administrators and teachers and like
Equally
so
important.
I was friends with the security guard who at the gate where you'd come into school to the parking lot. And when I would drive my prowler to school, which wasn't all the time, but when I would take my prowler to school, I would just park it next to the security guard gate, and he would be like, "Don't worry, I got you." And I was like, "Thanks, bro." And he'd watch my prowler for me. So no one
Nobody
would
wanted
mess
to
with
watch my Ford Explorer. They weren't very excited about my car. I was just excited to have a car. But
I
like,
mean, yeah, the
yeah.
day I could have my license, I had it. I was on it. I was on that. That was
Yeah.
a big deal for us back then.
Well, I have to
I
say,
think for all kids it is.
Given all the shows I've worked on, Seventh Heaven, looking back, gave us the most leeway with education. I think we had Science Bob. We each had our own trailer, so you could study
He's famous
quietly.
now,
It was
Science Bob.
like that doesn't exist anymore. Like,
really?
yeah,
No.
yeah.
Really?
And we
All
were-
the
so
shows
what-
have
what is it
really
like now?
changed.
We were
All
literally
the
just talking with Shauna
Mm-hmm.
too, and she was saying how our set was like so accommodating to Happy. Like Happy had a trailer, they had space, and that like so it's interesting for us because we just always that was the norm. Like,
And you know what? I thought that was the norm too until I went to other shows.
Until
and
reality
it was
hit.
like, no. I mean, I've had kids from 8 years old to 16 in one room, and you bounce around and you have to teach them accordingly. In fact, Susie came on to one show that I worked on because there was a third grader and then there was a seventh and eighth grader. And when I had to do math with the older kids, the 8-year-old was not able to like just teach himself
right.
or entertain himself. So Susie came on for a while with
Yeah, I like that
student.
show.
Yeah.
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 Did you ever work with Claudette on other things?
I did.
Yeah?
I worked with her on Step by Step.
Oh,
That was
before
yeah.
us.
Several
Wasn't that
years. That was
before?
before. I worked on Step by Step
With
Christine
Christine.
Lincoln.
Yeah.
So she did.
She was 11 years old until she was 18. And Claudette worked with the younger kids.
Oh,
I
I know
worked
she
with
did Hannah Montana after us. I
She
think.
did?
Yes,
Christine
I
did
think
Hannah
so.
No.
Montana?
No, Claudette did.
Oh, Claudette
Oh,
did?
maybe
Really?
like background kids.
Mhm,
'Cause
yeah.
I thought it
I
was-
worked. No, I don't think so.
Mhm.
But
Tati, did you work on that one or?
no, but
I worked one
Claudette
day on
worked a lot with me on other
Yeah.
shows.
Oh, okay, cool.
Like
And
a
then
lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know
Oops.
we're very close friends.
And
Yes.
Susie, you and I worked together when I was
Okay.
a bitty
So-
thing.
We worked on 2 movies
Yep.
with Patrick Duffy
Right.
and Rue McClanahan.
Yep.
Oh.
And,
and we are.
uh,
Well, before you get into this story, Susie, we will be right back, and then we'll learn about the story.
Oh, okay.
I love that.
So Susie, we actually worked together when I was little, and you said you had a story. So I'm
9 years old.
Yeah,
You, me, and Casey.
Yep.
She was 8. You were 9.
Yep,
You played Jersey.
I did.
On 2 movies with Rue McClanahan
And Patrick
Duffy.
Yep.
And I have a picture of us.
Do you really?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, yes. And Casey was my little sister. I
Yeah.
remember that. And that's when Patrick Duffy got punched. He was my grandpa in this. We were just talking to Christine, and I
Oh.
think he was. I told him that when I saw him at 90s Con, and he was greatly disturbed by that when he realized that I am 44.
Oh.
Yeah.
That could be
Well, it might have been a
disturbing.
teenage pregnancy.
But
and,
it was.
You know,
This was a real. This
And
was.
here's a call sheet.
Oh my gosh, you have a call sheet.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
And guess what else I have here for you?
What else?
A shirt.
Oh my gosh, Children of the Bride. Yes.
Oh.
And here's Jersey on the back.
Oh,
You played
stop.
Jersey.
I don't even have these things. That's amazing.
Wow.
I'm going to have to we will post pictures of all this crisscross
Well, you can
productions.
have that.
For really?
I'm glad somebody
course.
else keeps a lot of.
Yeah,
I know.
I do.
Thank
I
God
have
for you
everything
guys.
of Dave.
Oh, yep, Jersey.
Look at this, honey.
is that you?
That's
Of
Expect to
course.
see a picture on the cover of GQ Mag. Do you remember?
I
is that?
remember that picture. Yeah.
Look at David.
Oh.
Smolder.
One of
Yeah.
my
Whoa.
Look at you.
one of my most try hard pictures.
Yeah. It's Shauna's favorite.
Here's
Come on.
us.
So what
I
is
have so
Yeah.
many pictures. I mean, I don't know.
Well,
what
I
we
mean,
go
you
through.
guys were such a big
Uh-huh.
part of our lives for so long.
I just loved coming to work every day and doing school with him, spending time with him. We just had such a wonderful connection.
We did.
Yeah.
It was.
We
it-
had a wonderful connection.
I-
I was substituting for a previous teacher that you had,
That's right.
and so I ended up staying.
That's
Well,
right.
we were actually talking about that is like when you guys, because
We had Jill,
prior to
too.
you guys coming on, we kind of had a rotation and we didn't have
Yes.
like our own
So you know who
teacher.
brought me on to Seventh Heaven was Barry Watson.
Really?
Barry was roommates with this guy Chad, and Chad worked on a show I was on called Hang Time.
Okay.
And you were rotating through teachers,
Right.
and Barry
Not
said,
because I was a bad student. Let's just be clear.
no, oh no, perfect, no, wonderful students. But
Jessie,
just chemistry didn't jive
Right.
with the teachers.
Yes.
And so Chad said, we have this great teacher. She gets along with all the students. You should, meet her. I was not in the union. So technically, I wasn't able to come on, but because you went through so many union teachers, I was able to interview. And that was the end of the story. And I got into the union on my birthday, January 7th, getting all my days on
And then-
Seventh Heaven.
Oh,
You
The
came
people
to
might
my
not-
house I was membership person for studio.
union.
The studio
teachers.
teachers union
Yes.
is very
And
difficult
so
to get
she
into,
came to my
though.
house with flowers and all these presents. I still have that little lipstick.
I was so happy.
Leopard
Can you-
lipstick.
Can you can you explain
Yes,
a little bit
yes,
about
yes. Because Susie was leopard, and if
Yes.
I brought Sarah, she saw all your turtles.
Yep.
I still have
Tortoises.
turtles.
Oh, we were wondering that. Can you explain a little bit about the process of getting into the studio teachers union? Because I know that it's difficult.
Oh, it's
It's
so
very
much
difficult
more
to get
difficult
into.
Now,
It's like
jobs are
impossible.
so scarce.
Yeah.
Sit up a
I
little bit so we
think-
could hear you.
How long does it take now or then?
Well, I was trying to get in the union for 8.5 years.
Wow.
I
It's
did
like the DGA.
commercials, I
Sounds
did
like-
non-union, and then this was my lucky break.
Amazing.
And so besides having one of the best experiences ever, and it was
And
on
two
Seventh
great
Heaven,
students.
two great students
Great
who I loved.
students.
I loved everyone.
She also, by the way, was a referee in our trailer
well, I'll
between
show-
Jesse and I.
I'll show a couple of pictures. Bev was extremely studious, head down, focus, focus, focus. Jessie could have a chicken on her shoulder while she worked. I have pictures of it. Remember?
Yeah, well,
The
Jesse,
chicken-
she just would always
chicken.
well, 'cause she,
Literally a
Yeah,
chicken?
Science Bob brought us a chicken. She asked
Oh
if we
my
could keep it
gosh.
for a week
Oh.
or two.
I
Did
vaguely
we have
remember
a
that.
We had a chicken in our classroom.
Yes, we did.
I do remember that.
I don't
yeah,
remember
maybe
that.
it was like you were
I
on
do.
different ends.
I do remember though so many times. I actually distinctly remember a conversation where I was dealing with faith, and I was very hardcore in my Christian faith at that time, and Jesse was challenging me, and I
Oh.
remember that you played referee, and you're like, I am in the middle of this conversation between these two, and there's no right or wrong, and I'm trying to just like play nice, because we got, and it was our first like real debate, and it was, I just remember you managing us very well.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
You did. You
Do
did.
you remember it differently?
I don't remember it.
Okay.
Oh,
I mean, I know I refereed. I
Yes.
don't remember this particular conversation, but it was just different learning styles.
It was different
Have you had to
learning
referee
styles,
with
and
other students?
But I also think that because Jesse and
Yeah.
I were, we were so close in age that it's like we were meant to battle. Like
like
we
real
were very
sibling
much like
rivalry
sisters.
there.
And Jessie also knew, like, it brought her great joy to like push my buttons, and I didn't know how to like recognize when she was doing it on purpose. I figured
Really?
I figured
Still,
it out
she
now.
does.
I
Doesn't-
seem to remember that.
Jesse's
I-
there trolling Bev constantly.
but it is funny now as we're adults, and now we're both like mothers, and we have kids like a day apart.
You do?
Yeah, Maisel and Finney are a day
Maisel,
apart.
I love that name.
Yeah, Maisie and Finney are a day apart. They were supposed to be a few more days apart, but Jessie delivered early, so they are literally a day apart. But it is very funny though, also because we've flipped. I'm the more relaxed one and more chill, and she's the more scheduled and like structured parent, and I am not structured at all.
Really?
Yeah, we've
Okay.
completely flipped the switch.
The other thing was you were younger than Jessie on the show,
But older.
but older.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
I
I
just
thought I
remember
was way
your-
wiser.
You had this like beautiful, bubbly handwriting, and all of your letters would be the same, and it was so organized. You know, mine was like sloping down the page, and it would it was
Are you in contact
Yes.
with Claudette still?
loosely. I would like to go see Claudette on
She'd
this
love
trip.
to go meet your little daughter.
Yeah. So I'm gonna hopefully make that happen next week.
She wanted
But,
to come, but she was very.
I adore
she couldn't come
Tati.
today.
You know, she's basically like her and Dawn were my mothers, really. So I hope I get to see her.
Yeah.
How is she doing?
She's doing fine. She's
Yeah?
doing fine. Yeah.
And Emily and Eric?
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Eric
Both
lives
of them?
with her.
Really?
Yeah.
Good. Okay.
Yeah. And Emily's doing well.
She has her own. Because
She has her own.
she got her own place
job.
a couple years
Yeah.
ago, right?
Yeah.
And she's still working. Beishava, is that the place?
No, but somewhere else in the
Okay.
same kind of work. Yeah.
Awesome.
Wait, so are you-
There's so many things besides
I love-
behind
so
the scenes.
Claudette's-
When we bring up something, pardon me. There's so many stories behind the scenes, and it brings back memories.
Oh,
And-
same.
And the show changed my life in so many ways.
For all of us.
Can I talk about
Of
that?
course.
briefly?
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, one was David had a very special teacher at the Chaminade that he would go to and
I know
confide
this
in.
story.
Yeah.
And I heard about this wonderful man, and David's counselor was my liaison to get work
Yep.
and to give, send his work in and get work from. And she told me about Bob DeConte, who was affectionately called Deco, and you know him too
I
because
do.
you had him as a teacher.
Yep.
Well, my mother had just passed away, and everyone seemed to think that I would really like him. So they introduced me to him, and I went to my first prom at Chaminade with Robert DeConte, and we stayed together for 20 years, and we had wonderful 20 years together, but he passed away in 2019, and David and his whole family were at his funeral.
Hmm.
Yeah. Bob was a really beautiful man. He was just an absolute sweetheart. And I remember when I used to go to Chaminade, he was a religious studies teacher, and he would teach art. And he had this, which always left a big impression on me. But he had this beautiful sculpture that he had made from a piece of driftwood that he found. And he turned it into this like a crucifix style sculpture that was up in the office at school. It was up for years. Yeah, he was very talented, artistic, a beautiful person, and I miss him. Bob was a great guy.
He loved David, and
What's not to love?
But I'm very fortunate now because I reunited with one of my high school boyfriends.
I
went to a reunion after Bob passed away, and now we've been together for 5 years, and he's in the kitchen. And
He said that's awesome.
yeah.
Well, we're happy to have you both here.
Thank you. Another wonderful thing that happened was I acquired a beautiful Persian cat called Mingy. That we had cats on the set, didn't we?
They were
Bev?
underneath the trailers.
Yeah,
Persian
not-
cats. We had guest cats, didn't we?
We did?
There
I mean,
was,
I remember stray cats
there
under the trailer.
Well,
I think the
before-
trainer Shauna had some cats from Stuart Little.
Oh.
Yes, we were talking
And
about
we
the
were going
Persians
to-
and Stuart
to,
Little. You didn't get
adopt-
Catzilla, did you? That was one of them.
No, I got this beautiful silver shaded
Oh.
Persian cat because the
They had-
Stephen Collins' assistant couldn't keep the cat. It didn't get along with hers.
Oh.
So she called me up and she brought the cat over, and I never gave it back. So you know what? That cat passed away, but like I'm on my 6th Persian cat.
Aw.
I'm addicted. So
Well,
that's
listen.
another wonderful thing.
when we get back, Susie will tell us all about her rescue animals. It is quite the collection that she's had over the years.
Okay, and we've got some amazing, you guys have brought some amazing pictures, and there is really a chicken on Jessie's shoulder while she's doing schoolwork.
There you go.
Let's see.
I mean, that's real chicken. I mean, we
That's
didn't.
cute.
We,
It's
I
not
mean,
everybody who can concentrate with
not
it.
everyone can concentrate with a chicken on their back.
I don't think
mean,
concentration was the goal. Just
No,
saying.
I also see
Maybe not.
some really cool sunglasses that Jessie
Let
had
me
there
see.
too.
Oh, yeah.
But I mean, Cheryl, we have so many.
Oh, what a picture.
So many
Great
stories.
memories. So, because Susie told her cat stories, I have to talk about Mac's dogs, Molly and Ollie.
Yeah.
And Mac and her mom, Donna, promised my daughter one of their puppies when they had puppies. And years passed. I wasn't even working on the show anymore, but I got a call that the puppies were born and one was going to be Sarah's. And anyway, long story short, we had Wally. And Wally was the love of our life for 13 years. And I'm just going to show this picture of Ollie and Molly and Wally.
Oh,
And then Catherine's daughter took Lolly.
yeah.
Yes.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
What kind of a dog was
Yorkie.
Wally?
Yorkies.
Yorkies. Yorkies.
Oh.
But I'll never forget Sarah's face when your mom told her, Sarah, your puppy was born. And she's like, what? And I didn't even think she'd remember. And then her eyes teared up and she was like, oh my God. She was so happy. He brought us a lot of happiness. And I
These
thank you for that.
pictures
So
are
sweet.
amazing. And
then this was a holiday gift one year, Seventh Heaven.
we had so many really cool gifts.
Can I look at
Yes.
those?
Yeah.
Do I have one of those?
I know it's funny.
You
We
probably
old lunchbox.
did.
definitely
I know
have
I have one
them.
from the middle, but
Yeah.
These are back when we have. I mean,
We had the quads.
mm-hmm.
Here, hand me some of the ones that you've seen.
There's a picture of you holding the
The-
two of
Yes.
the two
Of-
that
Yeah, absolutely.
show.
Because we had
Four.
Four. There was a lot of kids on our show.
There was.
That's
A
Jill.
lot of guest kids. One of the pictures in there has Lance Bass.
Yep, because Lance was on the show,
Lance was
played
on
my
the show.
boyfriend, or played.
Here,
Usher.
look, there's
I
Jill and,
remember
that one
Usher.
too.
waiting in line. He was so shy. He didn't know where to go. He was so sweet, and he was waiting outside all by himself. And I went over to him and was talking. And he wasn't like really famous. He was just kind of breaking.
I mean,
out
Usher
there.
has always
so-
been famous in
Yeah.
my book.
Who did Jill teach?
The
Jill was
quads.
there for the quads.
The quads. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So she did the welfare, baby
Right.
welfare, baby wrangler. But because there were so many of them, we all participated.
Oh,
so.
Bev, you're so cute in this one here.
Science
Oh, I
Bob.
think I have.
There he is.
Yeah.
He looks exactly the same.
Oh,
he
yes, he
has
does.
not
Yeah.
changed.
Yeah.
I
There's
also
Emily.
remember what was really cool is
have
we
this
were able to
picture in,
decorate our trailers.
In some
Yes.
photo albums that I brought in.
So we
I remember her in the
everybody's
schoolroom stuff.
Meatloaf
everybody's
movie.
schoolroom looked uniquely different.
Me. Oh, look.
It had your personalities.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think it was, you could definitely tell when you walked into each of our schoolrooms like who it belonged to, because we
Yeah.
were able to kind of like decorate it, make it homey, and make it our own.
Well, to be clear, you decorated your school trailer a lot.
She decorated her other trailer
your,
too.
your regular trailer was
Was decorated.
also, I remember, decorated.
Absolutely.
My trailer looked like
Stock.
boy.
the trailer.
So did
Just-
mine.
I
Yeah.
didn't put pictures up. I didn't do. I came in with my bag. I put my bag down. I changed, and I didn't spend any time in there
Are we surprised?
unless I went to sleep. Yeah,
I
would
wanted
use
it
for
to be.
naps.
I always
We had
wanted
a great
to be
cook,
homey.
didn't we?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Eligio.
yes.
Gourmet.
Eligio.
and
gourmet
Juan.
cook.
Juan gave us some chickens
Yeah,
actually.
here's one.
2 chickens.
Oh, really?
Yep, there he is.
He had these little like bantam because was he from El Salvador or something? I think.
Maybe.
Yeah.
That sounds right.
Yeah, and he had these El Salvadorian
Yeah.
chicken.
Here's
And then we got
one.
big chickens, and then our dogs ate those.
Oh.
But yeah. Oh,
So-
Eligio
Juan.
won.
For all these years of being studio teachers, what was like the most memorable set?
For me, I would say this one, and also Step by Step with Christine Lake. And
Great answer.
Okay,
Yeah.
I would say this one, and second
Sarah.
would be Jessie, the Disney show Jessie,
Oh,
because I worked on that for 5 years, and then some of the kids went on to Bunked, and
Uh-huh.
I
Look at that
worked on
outfit
Bunked
I have
also.
on.
so you got to follow them.
I got to follow them. I got to go to high school graduations.
Because you guys didn't
Oh,
work
look,
on
that
Secret
was
Life of the
great.
American Teenager, right?
No,
I think I did a little bit. And didn't I run into you at the ranch? Oh,
Yeah.
When you what did you work on?
I
what
did
show?
Secret Life.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
so
was-
I
a little
ran
blip.
into you once in a
Yeah.
while when I worked on that once in a while.
And I was
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
college counselor on that show.
Oh,
And so
really?
that was really cool because I mean, basically, it
could
was like
see
our
you.
entire crew. Like Melissa was on that show, and Cheryl.
Well,
Cheryl,
no, everybody.
the
like,
wardrobe.
they took majority, like
Yeah,
90%
it was
of the
like
crew.
basically the whole the whole crew, which was
listen,
really great.
You guys could talk about the set you went on to without me after this.
Andrew Keegan was another one who was a guest cast.
Yes.
We
I
actually
have a
just
picture of him
saw
Yeah, I
Andrew
do have one
in
in
at
September.
90s Con.
Oh, you did?
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Recently.
Yeah, he's
Is
exactly
he
the
still
same.
a very handsome guy?
He's still
I
the
mean-
most
Yeah.
handsome guy.
Yeah.
He
Yep.
is.
He used to date Leanne Rhymes. Yeah.
There's a few.
Mm-hmm.
That list
Yeah.
is long.
Yeah.
In the 90s.
Oh, he was that guy. Back
He was
then,
also,
right?
he was everyone's boyfriend on every 90s show.
Yeah.
Like he was the heartthrob
Yeah,
on
Yes. Yes.
at
So
like
he-
every show.
When
I
you
think.
think of your '90s boyfriend, I think his
Andrew
face
Keegan.
materializes
Oh,
in
really?
your mind. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was in a they did like an ad on me being Andrew Keegan's teacher on Step by Step, and they did like a thing in Beat magazine. I still have that. I
Oh,
should've
boy.
brought that.
Oh, remember?
And
Yeah,
Bop, all
yeah,
of those.
Bop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do they still
Bop.
have magazines like that, like those
Do they-
teeny bopper magazines?
I don't
I-
think so.
I don't-
Maybe?
I think maybe. Yeah.
Not as popular as the 90s.
Here's
with
Andrew
I don't think the
Keegan.
kids
Well,
are
we have
picking up the
Instagram
magazines
now.
these
Yeah,
days. I don't
they
know.
aren't.
I think
I
if
think-
they exist,
Oh,
they're digital.
boy.
They're out.
I have a picture of him from our set somewhere in
Isn't
my
that?
bag.
No, I guess that's not.
Who's
from
the-
ours.
in the
Is that
picture?
Christine?
Yes.
Okay.
She isn't pregnant.
No, she's not
No,
pregnant.
no, she was like
she's-
16 or 17 there.
I mean,
Yeah.
she is so cute.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah,
Aw.
that's so fun. And then we also have this this magic. You guys,
Let's see.
check this out.
Yeah.
And for all
I don't
of you
even
who are
remember
listening,
this
Is
at
that
all.
you, honey? Oh,
That's
how
Matt.
cute.
Yes,
yeah.
that's Mackenzie.
That's
1999.
but
Children, man, that's really funny.
I think before we wrap up, because
Back to
we're
school.
having so much fun, what would be? I'm gonna put you guys on the spot. What was your favorite memory, if you can think of one, of being our teachers? Is there something that like stands out in your mind?
How could there be one?
Well, I mean, I'd love to hear that.
Mine was having David Gallagher graduate from USC, and Clint Eastwood being the what was
The
he?
speaker,
Yeah.
at my graduation.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Really?
Cheryl. I didn't
And they-
graduate.
And they also
You did?
not from
they
college.
attended.
Oh, from college.
Yeah, Stephen and Catherine came
Yeah.
to my graduation.
Nah,
I
didn't.
We,
finish
uh,
college.
Not
I had
important.
always said, because I was shooting for USC Film School from like basically middle school. Like I knew that's where I wanted to go to college. I remember I got excited about going to Chaminade because I had heard that Chaminade has a like a high throughput to USC.
We did.
Big turnout for that college. And I've always said that Susie is the one who worked her ass off to get me into USC, and it worked. And so
And he gave me his hat.
Aww.
I couldn't find it. I know I thought I had it all ready to bring you, in a drawer, and it wasn't there when I. But
I mean, you
it's
guys
somewhere.
brought us more than enough. I mean,
I know,
this
you
is
brought
just
so much
this
stuff.
is so
I mean,
amazing.
I even
This
have
is- yeah.
more, and I'm happy for the friendships I made. I'm very close with David's whole family. They went to my mother's funeral. They went to my Bob's funeral. Christine Lakin, I love her too. I was her teacher for 7 years,
Mhm.
and she read my mother's eulogy for me when my mother passed away. And when she graduated, her parents flew me to Georgia for her graduation.
And then we heard about a
then
trip.
We went to Europe.
I
They flew
heard.
us to Europe for 2 weeks.
We heard
10
about that.
days, yes.
Yeah, she said some of these things that we're not going to talk about all the details, but you
That's
guys had a lot of
right.
time, a lot of fun.
We had a lot of fun.
I love that. That's amazing.
Well, Bev, I
As one
cannot
does.
isolate one memory because there are so many. Really, you and Jesse meant the world to me, as did the show.
We are all so, I will speak on behalf of both Jesse and I to say thank you very much for your patience and for getting us through all those hard times. And, I think all of us here, it's an opportunity to say thank you for being a integral part in our life and our development and who we became as humans, and having that support system behind the scenes, and that protection. So thank you so very much.
You are so very welcome. That's the joy of teaching. Just hearing things like that and seeing how you've all blossomed. Really, that's our joy.
Well, we love you guys.
We do.
Susie,
and
I love you so much.
I love you, dear, always.
And we're so grateful for you guys to join us on the podcast. Well, thank you so very much for joining us, and join us on our next episode of Catching Up with the Camdens. We've got more stories to come, more guests, and more heartfelt memories. So see you next time. Oh, and like all the buttons and push all the things.
Hey guys, check us out on Patreon for early access to Catching Up with the Camdens episodes, exclusive group and individual content, access to all 3 of us via chat, and more.